Today I'm going to talk about the passion flower. So let's get started. So I was out this morning harvesting some herbs. Specifically, I was looking for goldenrod, but while I was out, I found a good couple of vines of passion flower, and I thought I would process that as well and bring you along. And those that want to know what it looks like out in nature, I will pop up a little bit of a video or picture right here to identify what it looks like in nature. But this is the vine of the passion flower, which it has a beautiful flower, but this one hadn't opened yet. It is a very unique flower, and it smells interesting. I was going to say it smells awesome, but I think all of the plants smell their own awesomeness. But anyway, let's move on with this. The leaves are usually 3-pronged leaves, and this will grow along the ground. You know, like I said, it was a vine, but if it has something to grow on, like a fence line, you'll see it quite a bit on fence lines, or even a tree, a small tree, it will grow up a small tree. But I got a good amount, and you use the above ground parts of the passion flower. So with harvesting or wildcrafting, you always want to use the rules of thirds. You know, only take 1/3 of what you see in an area. That way there is a third to grow and another third ish for other people to harvest, or even animals. And that is a good rule to follow. And that's what I took today, is about 1/3 of what was growing in the area. And as you can see, I got quite a bit. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to break this up and put it on my dehydrating tray to dehydrate it. Now, if you don't have a dehydrating tray, there are several things that you can do. You don't have to go out and buy a dehydrator. This particular plant, you can put it out on your oven rack with a little bit of aluminum foil. So you would cover your oven rack with aluminum foil, put it on the lowest setting that you can. With this dehydrator, I can change the temperature, and this one is set in Celsius. So I've learned over time that about 45 degrees, and that's about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That is an awesome temperature to dehydrate these particular leaves. So that's what we shall do. My passion flower leaves on my dehydrator, I have one more tray, and I have a few dewberry leaves that I would like to dehydrate. So I'm going to stick those on the top tray. Now, when dehydrating several plants at a time, you want to make sure that they aren't opposite type plants or plants that could hurt you if there is any cross-contamination with the plants. Though I'm taking some precautions, I'm using one of my silicone trays or tray covers to keep the dewberry leaves from the passionflower, but you know, there is that possibility that some of the dewberry could get into the passionflower, and the passionflower could get into the dewberry leaves. So you do want to keep that in mind when harvesting and dehydrating or drying your plants together. So just a word of caution. So I will let this dehydrate for a couple of hours. I will come in throughout that time and change the racks up to where, you know, like the bottom goes on the top and the top goes on the bottom and the middle gets mixed into the bottom and so on and so forth. That way it dries evenly throughout the dehydrating time. Now, what is passionflower used for? Well, there are several different things that it can be used for. You can use it for inflammation, wound healing, things like that, but that's a little less common. And my favorite way of using it is for anxiety, to pep up the mood, to take the edge off of that anxiety that you might be having. And this is one of those herbs that is a safe type, anxiety type herb, so it's not going to depress the system or stimulate a lot to where you're all jittery and all of that. It's just going to take that edge off to where you can handle the situation on hand. So figure out how to manage it in a normal way, if that makes sense. So that's what I like using passionflower for, and I'm so glad that it presented itself for me today because I actually needed some, and I wasn't even out there looking for it. I was actually looking for goldenrod today, but it was on the way to the goldenrod. It said, hey, pick me too, and I did. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below and I will answer accordingly. I will talk with you again soon, and until then, get healthy, be happy, and herbal on!